Hey folks, this is Christopher Dean, and I'm going to talk to you for just a little bit about the notion of genre and online reputation. And what I'm using today is something called Prezi. It's another way of presenting information. It's another type of presentational software, and I just wanted to sort of demonstrate it to you today. And it's interesting in and of itself, because it does sort of create a different feel as you move through a canvas rather than from slide to slide. So let's begin. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about genre. Now, genre has, as Carrie Dirk pointed out, sort of a bad reputation. And really, it's more than a form. When we tend to think of genre, we think about things like the 5-paragraph essay, which we've all learned. But really what it is, going from Kenneth Burke, is the notion that it's working to solve a particular rhetorical problem. It helps you do something with rhetoric. So why is it important? Well, as Dirk points out in our reading called Navigating Genre, knowing what a genre is used for can help people to accomplish goals, whether that goal be getting a job by knowing how to write a stellar resume or something else. But for you, it's really about one thing in particular. I want to get at that, which is TED. The TED Talk, the expertise speech. Genre is going to help you, and sort of genre analysis can help you understand what you're being asked to do. So, the expertise speech as a genre, first of all, obviously, you have to sort of establish, as my colleague Jim Donelon put it, your ethos very early on, and you have to do it in a way sort of using shorthand. Also, as Dirk points out, there's a few questions that you can ask yourself that will actually help you in doing this sort of work. First of all, what's your goal for the speech? What's your purpose? Who are you trying to reach? Who's the audience? And then what research have you done, both in terms of your own research on the expertise area that you're working in, and also in terms of looking at other speeches? So, genre actually sort of aligns in an interesting way, I think, with your notion, with our notion of online reputation and online reputation systems. So, if you understand the conventions of genres, you can begin to establish your ethos, first of all, and then even your online reputation. Now, ethos is the classical rhetorical notion, that goes very, very far back. And it was defined by Quintilian famously as a good man speaking well. Note the gendered language there. That's not how we define it now. Now it tends to mean the reputation of the speaker. Now, your online reputation is sort of like your ethos, but not entirely. Really, this goes to the Jensen and Jorgensen article, which you're going to be asked to read, which sort of introduces you to the notion of online reputation systems and to notions of aggregated trustworthiness. And this is an important concept because it begins to understand why we value things like one Facebook post or another over another, or a Wikipedia entry, why one is better than the next. And it's not just because of the reputation of the person writing it, which is often very difficult to actually discern. It's actually about all the judgments that we make across 3 domains. So ultimately, your online reputation, and this is something that you want to think about, particularly as you go out into the wider world, is more than a simple handshake, and it's more than just simply your ethos. So online reputation systems are kind of interesting because they don't have to be linked to your offline personality and persona, or personae. Why? Because they're not necessarily making the same sort of judgments. Online reputations are often about likes and other software elements of particularly social media. And this sort of social element, this sort of collectivizing of our analysis of ethos is something that really is part of an online reputation system. Also, online reputation is tied, believe it or not, to aesthetics. So if I make a really remarkably ugly Facebook page that tells about my reputation, that's going to actually undermine my online reputation. And what's interesting is that online reputations don't have as much to do as we might think about, like ethos, logos, and pathos, because it's really more about sort of how you come across in a variety of different media to a variety of different audiences. Also, you can really create and curate an online reputation. And this old piece that I'm going to show you gets at that. On the internet, nobody knows your dog, as one dog is saying to the other. And the point is that on the internet, there's sort of provisional anonymity, and you can really take on different sorts of persona. So why does this all matter? So your online reputation follows you. You know, never post something on Facebook that you wouldn't be happy to see, 10, 15 years down the line. And even things like Snapchat, which we think, we post and it's gone, there are people who actually specialize in actually capturing Snapchats, believe it or not. People have a lot of free time. I think that's one of the things we can say here. And you want to be really careful in terms of how you manage your online reputation. And you're going to be establishing that in your expertise speech, potentially for at least two audiences, the folks in your section, and then even people on down the line in this class who'll be taking a look at the best work that we do. And the last point I want to make is this. In this last unit of this class, we're going to take a look at online reputations, and that's really kind of central to what it is. And so now we're going to have a short quiz about what's been covered here and about what's in the readings. And I want you to do a couple of things. One is to take a short Zaption multiple choice quiz, but also to do something a little fun and a little different with drawing. So some final thoughts. If you think about genre and you think about analyzing genre in really sort of direct ways, it's going to improve your writing and your ability to curate your online reputation. One of the key practical lessons of this class actually is that you can actually curate, which means to take care of and to oversee your online reputation. And online reputations, like everything in this digital age, are not static. So you're going to have to keep working on it. This is a first start, but it is ultimately not the end. But this is the end. So thank you for listening.